You are in the kitchen with Mrs. Smith Cooks. The first thing to start with is our potatoes, but first we need to slice them. I bought my husband this Ozo Chef's Steel Mandolin Slicer. This item works so well that I did cut myself the first time I ever touched it, and I swear I wouldn't touch it again. So my husband will be assisting me today, and I am sorry about the fact that the footage is from my phone, but enjoy anyhow. On the side of this contraption, you can turn the dial to different cutting settings. He set the dial to 1/4 to get these crinkle cut potatoes. I put the potatoes in cold water with ice for about 20 minutes, but it's better when refrigerated overnight. You want the potatoes to release its starch because leaving the starch on allows the potatoes to brown while the middle remains uncooked. I'm going to drain the water from the potatoes using just the lid from this bowl, allowing a small space for the water to flow out. I laid paper towels down first, and then I'm laying the potatoes onto the tray and patting them dry very well with the paper towels. You don't want to get popped by hot oil or have a boil over. Turn your stove on. Place a stock pot onto the burner. As it warms, I'm going to add 3½ cups of pure peanut oil. I don't have a baking sheet with a wire rack at the current moment because we just moved. I am going to rig it by using a cupcake tray with wire racks from my air fryer as my wire rack. This is for draining our potatoes once they come out of the hot oil. A frying thermometer is preferred, but today I'm using a regular one and making sure that the temperature is at 300 degrees to blanch the fries first. If the oil isn't hot enough, the fries will be oily instead of crispy. You also want to have a spider. It'll help you gently place the fries into the hot oil and retrieve them. Make sure your oil never reaches over 60% of your pot's size once filled to avoid overflowing. There's exactly a half pot of oil, and now that the pot is filled with all of the potatoes, make sure they are completely submerged. If you're patient, you will also cook them in small batches. I obviously didn't. Stir them slightly to avoid sticking and always hold the pot's handle. Right now, they are actually cooked, so you can eat them as is. After several minutes, turn the stove off and you will use the spider and take the fries out and place them onto a wire rack in a thin layer because they will continue to cook and the temperature will continue to rise. Wonderful part, they snap. They're not soft, they're not flimsy. We are now going to take these very hot fries and place them in the fridge to cool for 2 to 4 hours. This is how you get crispy restaurant quality fries. This is the ground beef that they sell at our local Winn-Dixie store. This one is 73% lean and 27% fat. This one is actually exactly 3 pounds. And I'm going to cut the package in half, and I have exactly 1.5 pounds each. I will put away the other half for another meal. We're using 3 tablespoons of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1½ tablespoons of Canadian steak seasoning, 1 tablespoon of Slap Ya Mama, ½ tablespoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning. Now it's time to mix and ground up your ground beef. Get your hands in there, either naked or gloved, squeezing the ground beef, smashing, and allowing it to flow between your fingers as it mixes all the seasonings and flavors together. I honestly hate eating burgers outside of the house, and I don't know if it's because they're not thick and juicy and flavorsome patties, or if it's the way that they cook them. I really love a nice crisp on my burgers, so let's get to seasoning and I'll show you how to get that smash burger char. Once complete, it's time to roll our patty balls. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I love a very thick burger. Grab a chunk of meat and place it in the palm of your hand. Press in firmly, roll and mold your meat into a perfect sphere. I have 4 burgers and each will weigh in at about 0.375 pounds, very close to half a pound. Refrigerate the meat until you are ready to cook it, then take it out 15 minutes before so that it can reach room temperature. I placed a large frying pan on the stove over medium-high heat. I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of Amish rolled butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Allow it to melt and then allow the oil to coat all over the pan. Take your meatballs, rub them in the oil for a good coating, and let them sit. After exactly 1 minute, use a stainless steel spatula to press your patties. Use a silicone spatula to help peel the meat off of the metal one because it will stick to it. Allow it to cook on that side for another 2 minutes. Now it is time to flip the burgers. I'm now turning the stove on under the potatoes so the oil can heat. They won't take very long. Once flipped, they show an impressive brown crisping going on. I'm now pressing on all of the patties and then allowing it to cook for another 3 minutes on the side. The oil for the potatoes is set between 375 to 380 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gently sliding them from my tray into the oil. Use the spider to give it a mix. The bubbles means it's frying well. Watch your fries closely as they will cook quickly in under 10 minutes. Always check the internal temperature of your meat. You want the burger around 140 to 145 degrees Fahrenheit for medium. I remove them from the pot immediately. Give your fries a stir after 5 minutes to make sure that they aren't sticking together and to check on that color. I'm now putting the multigrain bread into the oven directly on the racks on high broil for 6 minutes. After the time is up, I'm using tongs to flip the bread after 3 minutes have passed, and then I'm going to bake it another 3 minutes on the other side. Now that it is nice and baked, remove your bread with your tongs. After another 5 minutes, the fries should be complete. I place paper towels over the racks to suck up the oil. I also remove the pot off of the hot burner. Use the spider to gently remove your homemade golden crispy fries from the hot oil and allow excess oil to drain first before tossing the fries onto the paper towel. It is now time to sandwich up our burgers. As you can see, I've already put mayo on here, and then we're going to apply some stone ground mustard to one side of our bread. Then I'm going to place down our iceberg lettuce, then our Roma tomatoes. We also have onions. Now I'm placing down our delicious juicy patties with the char. Then I'm going to place the fries on the side. Take your black pepper and salt shaker and give it a little bit of seasoning. Now we are ready to indulge in this hamburger and fries homemade meal. I almost didn't get any footage of this because it looked and smelled so delicious, and it certainly was. I hope that you all enjoyed this video and you will make your homemade burgers and fries at home. You'll see me in the next one. Bye for now.